Green Collective, you have a hopeful resonance in your field right now. You have this hopeful optimism that is blooming forth, and there's something so exciting about your energy today. It is like a golden yellow, and I see greens, blues and purple, like wildflowers, blueberries, stardust, stardew. These are additional little confirmations. I'm also hearing mildew, so I guess all types of dew. Um, Oh, this is interesting. Okay, there's a message about dew. Okay, so I said stardew and then I said mildew. There's another dew, which is the plant dew, and I'm specifically seeing, I think it's called a sun catcher. There's a type of carnivorous plant that secretes a moisture, like a liquid, and it catches things on it. Is this sun catcher? I forget. I don't remember what this thing's called, but yeah, it's some sort of carnivorous plant, and it secretes this goo, and plants that land on it get trapped and they get eaten. It like dissolves them. So there's something about your honey sweetness is able to dissolve others' securities, I'm hearing. So if people attack you, you're able to deliver such a demeanor that seems really sweet on the outside, but inside is like poison. Like you lovingly administer the wound to them. This is a very interesting energy collective. Like I'm seeing a nurse that shoves a shot into someone and the shot is full of poison. And so if people wrong you, there's this feeling of just kill them with kindness, quite literally. Because you say like, your death would be a kindness. I don't mean literally. I have to still work around these YouTube restrictions and what I can say and what I can't say. So I'm learning. Bear with me. You may find you don't know the strength of your own medicine, I'm hearing. You may also make poultices for people. Like you may mix herbs or batches of things together and draw out like baths or I'm hearing the word draught, like a draught of, it's weird, a draught of iron is what I'm hearing, but I think I forget what draught means. I think it's like a big gulp or something like that. But I'm seeing like a big vat of broth, like chicken broth. Yeah, you just have this ability to be so sweet and so deceiving in your gentleness. And I am smiling as I say this because you are a biome. That is what comes through so strong for you, collective. You are a biome. And like I say before, you may resonate with some of my other collectives too, but this is just one aspect of you that I'm capturing here. And your Venn diagram is going to overlap differently than other people's Venn diagrams with the other collectives that I channel for. Oh, I'm getting a phrase of the golden collective coming through. That might be a new collective. I'll check on that later. Maybe you'll be tied into that collective, green collective. Yeah, let's see what else we got here. I'm seeing a spider that is weaving her web in the morning. And she's weaving this web over this empty space. There's this experience you're having where you are constructing a web over open space. And I'm seeing the sun hit dewdrops on this web. And the drops on the web are so mesmerizing because they cast like these little shadows and these rainbows and intricacies of light. And those dewdrops are not the spider webs. They're not the spider web, and yet they are the spider web. Oh, there's this dew is very significant for you guys. I'm so curious about what this could mean, but perhaps this is a metaphor, perhaps it is literal. Yeah, these drops of water are inseparable from the spider web though, and other animals may land on them and try and drink. Oh, okay, I see how this is going. Okay, and then get caught by the spider. So you are someone who lures others in. You are someone who is able to spin your web or leave out I'm hearing delicacies, leave things out for people to see, and they think it's nice and they think it seems good and they bite it. And then I hear like their teeth are hardened. Yeah, like you maybe like how else can I phrase this? I don't see this as a negative thing. I see it as you don't need to be violent. With people who wrong you and with people who I'm coming back to that message again of you are a biome. It's like there's no good or evil in your actions necessarily what you're doing. It simply is the way nature is. I wonder if some of you are in sales or something like that, or a task force, teams force or something. There's this feeling of absolute neutrality from you, collective, in this kind of energy of you're simply existing in this ecosystem, and you say, if it is wrong that I was born this way, if it is a sin for me to be who I am, then let it be a sin, because I have no other existence in this. So there's this feeling of God wouldn't have created you to be a spider if he didn't want you to eat other things. Wouldn't have made you like I guess a suncatcher. I forget what the name of that thing is. Wouldn't have made you that plant that secretes that like venomous liquid that stuns prey so you can eat it and dissolve it. He wouldn't have made you that unless you were supposed to be that. So there's this feeling of you're supposed to devour others in this very carnivorous plant sort of way. This is so funny. Your energy, I F with your energy, collective. I honestly do. I'm a Scorpio rising. So yeah, I F with this man eater, woman eater kind of energy of you do what you do, okay? And you don't feel bad about it. Yeah. There's this energy of I don't care what right or wrong is. This is my nature, and you can't tell me that it's right or wrong. You may be spinning along, spinning your web, and see people judging your web. Some people may say, oh my gosh, a spider, be scared of it. Oh my gosh, quick, get the broom, kill it with fire, douse the whole house, whatever. Then you may find that some people look at your web and they go, oh my gosh, a beautiful work of art. Look at how this spider constructed this perfect geometric designed web over empty space. Oh my gosh. And then they also notice how you take down your web every day. Every night, take down that web, build a new one in the morning. Some spiders do this, very diligent every day. So there's this feeling of you are very hard at something, collective. You are part of something to be particular, clean, neat, and tidy in a certain way. And it's almost like it's temporary, but you've accepted this. You're okay with this because that is simply the nature of things. You have accepted that to build a spider web is to see the destruction of your web. You have accepted that to create something is to blossom and is to let go of those blossoms when the time comes. So you understand innately the circle of life. This is a very unique gift you have, collective. You understand the seasonality of things. That's a beautiful gift. That is a really beautiful gift. You understand that man is not able to act beyond his nature. So when a man does what a man does, and I just mean like humankind, that's just in their nature. How can you judge them for it? That's how they're made, right? A man is made to pursue pleasure or to seek adventure or to find a woman or find a husband or a partner, mate, what have you. We're made to befriend animals, to explore the sky and the seas and see what dwells in the caves. Like we are made to explore nature, and we are made each to be our own biome. And so you don't see a problem with this. There's this feeling that you work so hard to build things sometimes, and that sometimes things never come to it. Like I see a web that doesn't get a bug in it. It never gets filled up, but you still pack it away and put it away at the end of the night. And you're like, no, I'll try again tomorrow. Like you have this can-do-itness, collective. I don't know if I would say you are like brimming with energy. That's not really what's coming through. It's like, excuse me, confirmation burp. You just have this incredible store of energy. You're almost like this cactus. Like you are just able to work hard wherever you go and seemingly never run out of steam. I think you must at some point, but like you really are just this workhorse. You're this power horse. Again, you're a biome. You simply shift forms. I'm getting when you're tired of one form, you just shift into another one. For some of you, this might be like housewife form. For others, this might be like motorcycle man form. Or others, this might be like channeler form. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I wonder if Gemini energy might be relevant for this collective. I'm not sure, but maybe there's Gemini somewhere in your chart. But there's also this complete list. This is very like Aquarian or Pisces sort of energy. It's just like it's so expansive. There's so many different things it encapsulates. And it's also so distant. There is a distance in this collective of not really like, this is not a collective that generally likes to get up close and personal with people. This is a collective that prefers to operate at a distance and allow things to come to it. This is a collective that I'm hearing like you feast when you need to and you famine when you need to, and there's no rush for either one to come. So you've got this very interesting yin and yang balance to you. I'm seeing these lightning bugs that are kind of dancing on a leaf. There is something that lights up within you when you're doing something you're passionate about, and the whole world can see it. And you are a biome. And so Oh my gosh, have you ever played the game Everything on Steam? It's so good. And I think they may have released it for the Switch too. You really ought to play that because um that's a game literally where you change forms into being different things. You can be like a swan, you could be like you could be a leaf on the ground, you could be a piece of gum, you could be a tree, you could be what do you call it? Like a building. You can just be so many different things. There's like a lot of mental chatter really too. There's just like you have so much potential, so much brimming within you. It's really exciting and it's also really confusing at times. But you have mastered this art of being able to shapeshift, if you will, into these different forms to navigate different circumstances. I'm getting that some of you in this collective work with Belial. Belial may be very grounding for you to help you navigate these shapeshifting forms. Because energy is your currency, energy is your money, your frequency, and you've mastered how to not waste your frequency. Right? When you're operating in this mode, in this like green collective energy mode, you have figured out how not to waste that frequency. The spider does not continually exercise in their web all day, right? They build it and then they wait. Maybe they think, maybe they plan, maybe they daydream, maybe they astral travel. Who knows? Probably. I bet some of them do. And then when the time comes for action, they take action, right? But I'm hearing you're not so foolish as to think that you need to take action all the time in order to be productive. You know that your food comes when you wait for it, not when you hunt for it or you seek for it. I am seeing an image of a panther now, collective, and this is a different kind of hunting for you that you do. When you're pursuing your goals and your dreams, this is a very dark black panther that prowls in the night through the jungle. It's like you move in secret, in stealth. People don't know what you're doing. You are a master at navigating your own biome. And your biome like covers the world because you've mastered all these different elements, collective. And you're able to just shapeshift. I'm seeing like you could become a whale, you could become a bird in the sky, you could become an insect. Honestly, I would not be shocked if some of you have the astral spiritual ability to shapeshift. Because you are so adaptable and you're also so detached from the morality that comes with those adaptations. Some people get very hung up on the concept of good and evil, right and wrong, when they are shapeshifting into animals, for instance. Or let's just talk hypothetically, when they imagine themselves as an animal, and they forget that the animal kingdom doesn't know rules. It doesn't have the rules of the human world. So I think you are also able to navigate the spiritual realm divorced from this identity of religious conservatism. Does that make sense? You're able to operate free of the constraints a lot of humankind operates under because you've divorced yourself from this mentality of needing to do things a certain way. I wonder if you have had to learn this along the way, but you've done a good job learning it. And you've always had this innate ability within you to balance these dualities of states of being, because if you didn't have that natural ability, you wouldn't be where you are today. Some of you may not have harnessed this ability fully. Like I'm getting that I've been talking about some things that you don't know what I'm even talking about, some of you. But trust that if I'm mentioning this here, there may be something for you to explore. There's a lot of the spiritual journey that you just have to learn how to do on your own, collective. And listening to people like me and reading books and, and traveling, channeling, all that stuff can help. But ultimately, when you're spiritually ready, the right teacher appears. And when you're a spiritually advanced soul like you are, you're going to run into a lot of teachers. I always show up in people's life right before big changes happen to them. I don't usually say that in my channelings, but my slogan is ready to change your life. So you may have a big change in your life coming your way. Something that you have invested in paying off, like a seed that you planted. I'm seeing an acorn growing into a tree, like overnight energy. Okay. Something big paying off. You have wintered a long time and you're just very into that rebirth energy. Like I think I said this in the first channeling, you're not really into the death so much. It's much more about the green and the expansiveness, the lush green, rainforest green, more specifically, because your biome doesn't see a lot of snow. Like it doesn't see a lot of fire or heat in that sense. It's a very wet, lush, tropical sort of biome that you seem to exist in. Let me see what else I get through here. I'm seeing a little shrimp. It's like a crab sort of shrimp. So you may find yourself drawn to the sea at this time, or find yourself needing more water. You may also find you're kind of out of your depth because the shrimp is so small in the sea. Like, the shrimp doesn't know. I'm hearing like the shrimp doesn't know what to do. It just swims. It just swims because it can swim. The shrimp follows its internal programming, its coding, which is to swim. The shrimp is not planning a 401k plan or retirement plan because the shrimp doesn't know if it'll live or die, right? Um, there's this interesting feeling of like how the shrimp is always provided for, regardless of how long it plans to be around for. And when it's time to go, it's time to go. You may have this mentality towards life of like, when it's time for you to go, time for you to go. Again, you're just sort of divorced from this concept of good or evil, right or wrong, bad or good. Like it's irrelevant to you because all that matters is what is. You're a collective that has really come down to this point of all that matters is. Like all that doesn't matter also is. It's almost a zen-like nirvana feeling coming through from this collective that's sort of, it's detached. I've never quite channeled the energy like this before. So I would definitely love to hear from you in the comments when this reaches the people that is meant for. There's just this genuine peace in this collective. And I don't think it's because you've never known war. I don't think it's because you've never known suffering. I think it's like you've literally seen the sheep eat people, is the phrase that's coming through. You've seen basically good turn bad. You have seen good turn bad. You've seen the bad eating the bad. Like you've seen violence. You've seen aggression. You've seen difficulties. And almost nothing can phase you, collective. You are so sturdy. You are so rock solid and strong. I think a lot of people won't understand what it took to get you to this point. I think a lot of people may understand this energy to be maybe harsh, maybe forbidding or foreboding. Like it's a hard energy for most people to understand because most people will never achieve an energy quite like this. Most people are not able to detach themselves from morality in the same way that you are. And I stress that this is not a bad thing. There's no judgment here. You simply operate in the way of like the animal kingdom. You see the point of morality for humans, sure, but the world isn't made for humans, is what's coming through, right? There's so much more than us here. And a lot of, okay, this is an interesting message. A lot of people look at the birds in the trees, the animals in the ground, and think they're less than them, but they're not. These animals were around before us, and they'll be around after us. And these animals are one with the earth. And so, if anything, it's unnatural the way a lot of humans operate. And I think a lot of you feel that. And a lot of you feel, collective, that the world could do with a little more ruthlessness in it. Because sometimes, I think you feel sometimes people are coddled too much. And that people destroy energies they love because they coddle them too much. Because, like, I'm hearing like a true mother would never kick her bird out of the nest unless she believed they could fly. But a terrible mother would never allow the child to leave the nest and make sure that she clipped her wings so that she could never fall, but she would also never fly. So there's this feeling of like, I wonder if there's resentment a little bit, or if there used to be maybe resentment over stagnancy, over this period of time where like you were entrusted to a loved one and that loved one clipped your wings, or that loved one like took you under with them. And it was under this guise of protection, but it really wasn't protection because it is cruel to be kind in a cruel world, is what I'm hearing. It's like they did not prepare you for this world. They did you the ultimate disservice because they could have sheltered you and given you a safe environment to make mistakes in and learn from, and they didn't. They thought, oh, I'll save them from this world. You can't save a person from this world, okay? We're all born into it. We all choose it. The worst thing that you could do is try and pretend like the world doesn't exist. Pretend like we're not animals. That's the worst thing you could do. And when you understand people are animals, everything's animals, even plants are animals in a way, that you can communicate with plants. They have their own consciousness. They have their own thoughts and plans. Their souls incarnated just like we are. Don't tell the vegetarians and vegans that. I think they might freak out just a little bit. They'll be scared at that. But it's true. Think on it. It's just a little homework for later. I mean, you're a carnivorous plant, so I don't think it'll bother you, but maybe some other people that concept might bother. I think people like to think of plants as less than human, less than animals, because it makes it easier to eat them. But if you just eat them with respect, that like life always takes life to sustain it, and energy is always just recycled, I think it aids in that detachment theory. It aids in that releasing of burden, of mental strain from thinking, is this moral or is this immoral? Like, it's none of that. It simply is. Anyway, so I wanna check back in and see if there's anything else for messaging for this collective. Da, 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 da. Okay, it's quieted down quite a lot. So I was kind of feeling like it was starting to wrap up. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the channeling there. So if this resonates with you, please do leave a comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. It so helps me out when you guys do this. I've been getting really fantastic reads and downloads and also feedback from you people with the channelings. And every time you engage with my content, it puts a little bit more of your energy into this collective for me to pick up on. And so I can give stuff that's more specific to you. When I can do it whether or not I have it, I'll still read for you guys. But if you want to be a little bit more engaged, a little bit more tuned into what you got going on, please, like I said, like, comment, and subscribe, trying to reach everyone that is meant to be reached with these messages. But ultimately, even if that's just one person at the end of the day, I'm still going to do it because that's what I am. That's what I do. Okay, collective. I will see you again very soon. Have a wonderful day.